Good morning, Dosto. My name is Deepak and I'm a tax code advisor. And thank you so much for joining today's discussion call. Today's topic is going to be health savings account. November and December is the time when Americans make decision about their health. They choose their insurance plans, they decide how much they have spent on their medical bills, and how are they going to make changes? How are they going to make decisions that will have a major impact for 2025? So, if you have not reviewed your insurance plans, if you have not reviewed your HSA, if you have not reviewed your Medicare, your Advantage plan, your Medigap plan, then I strongly encourage you to look at all of that information right now. This is the time to look at all that stuff. If you have parents, maybe they are not living with you, or maybe they're living with you, review their insurance. Take a look if something has changed. Maybe there's a better insurance plan for them. This is the time to make all of those decisions. So I will strongly encourage you to do that. Now, some of you guys are new to the channel. Some of you guys are new to our discussion group, and some of you guys are joining discussion call for the first time. So let me tell you, who am I and what do I do? My name is Deepak, and I'm a tax code advisor. I provide tax services nationwide. A lot of my clients are living outside the country and they're doing business in the United States. Maybe they have rental real estate, or maybe they are doing some business. So I serve them. I'm licensed in all 50 states. So no matter where you are in the country, I'm helpful to you. I can file your taxes and guide you how to save on taxes. I like to make content around taxes, finance, real estate updates, market updates, and immigration updates, because those are the kind of things my clientele is often interested in. So if you want to follow me, just follow my YouTube channel. Just go on YouTube and search for taxcodeadvisors.com, or just taxcodeadvisors, and you'll find me there. And my website is taxcodeadvisors.com, and you can just reach out to me from there. So that's what I love to do. But today's discussion topic is health savings account. So like I said, a month of November and December, this is when Americans make decision around their healthcare benefits. So you might have heard of this joke, but why do doctors carry a red pen? Maybe not anymore because everybody uses computers. But anyhow, the answer is because they can draw the blood anytime they want. Well, medical expenses are very expensive in America. Unless you are in some of these democratic states like California, where the state picks up a lot of bill if you have no income. But again, a lot of my clients have income, so that's not relevant to them either. But medical can get super expensive, especially as we get older. So a lot of people don't realize that when we are younger, we don't have as much of a medical need. And this is a perfect time to save for our future medical needs. But since we don't have a need, we don't think about saving for medical when we are in our 20s or 30s. So if you don't mind, all of you guys who are on the call today, if you can raise your hand and let me know if you were saving for medical needs when you were in your 20s. See, no one, right? No one. How about in 30s? Just a few, and 40s, more people. Yeah, that's what I see. Most people start saving in their 40s. So I would encourage you to talk to your kids, especially if they are in their 20s and 30s, and encourage them to set up an HSA account. Now, they might not understand the value of HSA account. If you just try to explain it to them, I would say that maybe at least share this. I'll put this video later on YouTube, and you can share a link with everyone there. That might be of a big help. Or even better, have them talk to a tax professional in their area. Obviously, I would prefer them to talk to me, because what happens is when people go talk to their tax professional, we can kind of see how HSA plans fits into their overall tax planning, and how it saves them, and how they can use it for their retirement and all that kind of good stuff. So I think tax professionals are in a better position to advise them that why it is so critical for them to set one up today. But again, most of you guys are in your 40s and 50s on the call today, so I will still talk about some of the great benefits of HSA for you guys as well. So number one is, as long as you have an HSA plan set up by December 1st, you can contribute to HSA for entire 2024. no problem. But you got to have the plan in place by December 1st. And then you can even contribute it to 2024 till next year as well. That's not a problem. But you got to have the plan in place. So December 1st is your hard deadline. Now, who can have an HSA plan? In order to have an HSA plan, your only requirement is that you must be below 65 and you need to have a high deductible insurance plan. That means your individual plans must have a deductible of minimum 1600 and family deductible of minimum of 3200. So if you have a plan that's deductible is only 500 or 1000 bucks, you would not qualify for HSA. If you are age 65 or older, then you will not qualify for HSA. So those are the only requirement. There is no income requirement or like minimum or maximum, anything like that. There's an age requirement and a deductible requirement. So why would you want to pick a, a plan that has a higher deductible compared to a lower deductible? Well, two reasons. Number one, the health insurance plans that are higher deductibles are usually cheaper. So most people prefer those anyway. And number two is people who pick high deductible plans are younger. That means they don't really have as much of a medical need right now. So they would rather have the money in there and they will let the money grow and use it later on when they're older. Most people who have HSA accounts, I have seen they have them through their employer. And I think this is one critical mistake oftentimes people make. Now, should you not have a plan from HSA from your employer? No, you should, because oftentimes your employer might be contributing to HSA. So it's a free money. So you should have it. But what I mean by HSA plan, not sponsored by employer, is that oftentimes your employer offers you limited choices as to what you can do with your HSA. And I'll talk about some of those limitations just in a second. But first, let me talk a little bit about who owns your HSA account, because this is very important to understand how HSAs work. Your HSA account is owned by you. You are the owner of that HSA account. Meaning, if your employer puts $1,000, those $1,000 are vested immediately. You don't need to work for X number of years or do certain things to earn that dollar amount, right? So the employer, let's say your employer says, "Hey, I'm going to put $5,000 into your HSA every year." They put it, and they are yours to use. You can roll it over into another HSA tomorrow if you want to. Your employer have nothing to do with that account. It's just, think of it like your employer is just writing you a check. They write you a check and they transfer the funds to you, and you're done with it. That they have nothing to do with it. At this point, it's your money. It's, think of it like another bank account. You can do whatever you want to do with it. You can withdraw those funds if you want to. You can roll them over into another HSA account if you want to. You can keep that account if you want to. All of those options are available to you. Now, some options are better than the other, and we'll dig a little deeper into it. But my main point is, don't think that your employer controls that account even for a bit. So if your employer doesn't have good HSA options, maybe they have limited mutual funds or they don't give you a lot of options to invest your HSA, then it's okay to transfer it over into some third party. You can move them to, for example, Fidelity or Vanguard or anybody else who offer HSA accounts, and most people offer it, so no problem there. All right. So some of the year-end tax strategies, I think a lot of you guys would love to hear those out. So number one is last month rule. Like I said, as long as you set up your HSA account by December 1st, you're good to go. You can put money in for the entire year. So it's not like you have to put 500 bucks in January, 500 in February, nothing like that. You can max out your HSA as long as you have HSA by December 1st. If you're a small business owner, maybe you're on 1099, you are on, you have a side gig going on, you have an S corp, C corp, whatever. All of you guys qualify for HSA account. All you got to do is go to, any kind of brokerage account, set one up, put your social, contribute the maximum to it, and we'll talk about contribution limits for 2024 just in a second, but put money in it and you're good to go. So everybody qualifies. Main requirement is you have to have an HSA account before December 1st. You can contribute for 2024 in December if you want to, and then you can contribute in 2025 if you want to. So, for example, let's say I put $8,000 in December. I can put $8,000 in January. Now I got $16,000 of in my health savings account just in 1 month. So um, that allows you to kind of max out your HSA so you can grow that money faster. As long as you have an HSA account, you can fund all the way up to April 15th till your tax deadline. So I recommend all my clients to maximize their HSA accounts in their early years and fund it as early as possible so that way they have the maximum growth. There's nothing stopping them from having multiple HSAs. They can have one from their employer, they can have one on their own. Maybe you have a side gig, so you can have another one. But remember, you always have maximum annual contribution limit. You cannot go over those contribution limits. The main reason why people fund their HSA account is because when they put money into it, they immediately get a tax deduction on it. So imagine you're in 30% tax bracket and you put $1,000 in it. Well, you're saving 300 bucks. So that's a great benefit. So really, you only put, you know, you were let's say if you are in 40% tax bracket, now you're saving 400, and if you're in 50% tax bracket, you're saving 500. So depending upon how much in taxes you pay, the more beneficial it is. Now, the problem I have is oftentimes people who are in higher tax bracket are usually contributing a lot to their HSA. But the people who are in lower tax bracket, maybe people who are not paying any taxes or are in 10, 20% tax bracket, are often not contributing to HSA. That is a mistake. Don't wait until you reach your higher tax bracket to contribute. The reason being is the earlier you contribute, the more that money will grow into tax free. So we want you to contribute as early as possible because you can let those funds grow tax free forever. As long as you're alive, that money can grow tax free. So why do you want to wait till your 40s and 50s when you're in higher tax bracket? Why not start growing those funds when you're in your 20s or 30s? So very important. If you withdraw the funds from HSA account for medical reasons, you also can do that for tax free. Your original principal that you put into HSA is tax free. The growth is tax free. So think about it. You took the benefit when you put the money in, you took the benefit when the money was growing, and you're taking the benefit when you're taking the money out. So it's like a triple benefit. I don't think any other strategies offer you so many benefits as the HSA does. And like I said, there is no income limit, but there is an age limit, and you have to have a high deductible insurance plan. And I shared those minimum and maximums earlier with you. So, what are the contribution limits for 2024? For individuals, it's about approximately $4,000, and for families, it's about $8,000. And if you're 55 or older, then it's about $1,000. Now, remember that you can only contribute to HSA accounts up to age 65. After age 65, you do not qualify to contribute to HSA accounts. However, you can keep the HSA account. You can let the money grow in HSA account. You just cannot add any more dollars into HSA account after the age 65. So for those of you guys who are 55 to 65, make sure you're taking advantage of that extra $1,000. So very important. You can put the money that you have in HSA into anything you want. You can buy ETFs, you can buy stocks, you can buy mutual funds. You can also buy real estate with it. You can buy crypto with it. You can buy gold with it. Whatever you like to buy, you can buy. Whatever you understand, whatever you believe in, you can do that. The only recommendation I would have here is don't um, pay attention to what does your employer offer for your HSA options. If they don't really have any good ETFs or they don't have any other uh, options that can help you make a lot of money from your investments, then look around. There are many other options out there that you can use. So you may remember people like Peter Thiel and many other people who have built enormous Roth IRA accounts. Why? Because they invested in things that they like to invest in. So I'm sure you probably know startups. Some of your friends might be making a startup. Maybe they're starting a restaurant or some other business, and you want to invest with them. You can do that with your HSA account. As long as it's a passive investment, you're not involved in that business, you can make that investment and let it grow, uh, very aggressively. So, like I said, the funds in your HSA account can remain forever. You don't have to use them. You can reimburse yourself for any medical expense that you had earlier in your life, as long as your HSA account was set up before that expense took place. So, meaning, let's say if I had a medical expense in my 20s and I set up my expense when I was in my 40s, I cannot get reimbursement for that account. But let's say I don't take any money from my HSA all the way till I was in my 80s. Now, any expense that I had in my 40s, because my HSA account was already set up, I can still get a reimbursement on that. So now you might be wondering, Deepak, why would I want to do that? That just kind of sounds stupid. So let me break that down for you. So imagine, so let's say you go to a doctor and you get a medical bill for $1,000 and you have an HSA account with a balance of 1,000. If you use your HSA card and pay for that medical balance, how much do you have left in HSA? Nothing. $0, right? The money is gone. Now, instead of paying for that medical bill with your HSA card, what if you paid with your credit card? And if you paid with your credit card, you are going to earn some cash back on that. Maybe you earn some points on that. And then you let the money grow in your HSA account tax free, let's say for next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. And that $1,000 might have turned into 10,000 or 20,000 a few years down the road. Now you ask for reimbursement for those original $1,000. So now you got your money back and you have several more dollars left over in your HSA accounts. So that's why I say that it makes sense to use reimbursement than using your HSA account. So never use your HSA account. You will have your dollar go a long way. So this is one of the techniques I use to maximize my HSA accounts. So like I said, um, for those of you guys who are 65 or older, you can withdraw the funds for non-medical reasons as well. No problem. As long as you have reached the age 65, you can access those funds penalty free, no charge to you. But you do pay taxes if you are using those funds for non-medical. So basically, after age 65, your HSA account acts more like an IRA account. HSA should be treated like a retirement tool instead of a health tool. I think you will get more out of your HSA if you just change your mindset around that. You will start looking at it a little bit differently. HSAs offer one unique benefit, that is that you can add a beneficiary to it. So beneficiaries come in really, really handy. Uh, you can put your spouse as a beneficiary, you can have your children as a beneficiary, and it simply means that if you don't use those funds for yourself, then your kids can inherit that money. So that's an awesome benefit. Oftentimes, people use HSA either as a medical tool or they convert it into an IRA. But sometime you might want to convert your IRA into HSA as well. So there is an option for that. So some of you guys who might have a medical expense and you need to access some of your funds from IRA account without paying a penalty, this is one option that is available. Once in lifetime, you can use it, transfer the funds from your IRA to an HSA account, and then access it for medical reasons. I don't recommend it, but it is available to you. So, if you withdraw the funds before age 65, like in your 40s and 50s, for non medical reasons, then you will pay penalty, which is about 20%, and you will pay taxes on that income as well. However, after the age 65, there will be no penalty, but the income will be taxable because you're using it as an IRA account. But let's say you're in your 80s and 90s and you want to use it for medical expense, no problem. no penalty, no taxes, nothing. It's just you're using those funds for your own benefits. You got to make sure that your medical expenses are qualified medical expenses. So if you go on IRS website, you can find a big booklet that defines what is a qualified medical expense. So please make sure you watch out for that. Always save your receipts, whether you're going to claim it or not claim it. If you have a medical expense, create a folder right away if you have not already done so, and start saving all your medical receipts there. Extremely important. If you paid for them with your HSA account, then I think that's okay because that is already tracked. But if you did not pay and you're planning on getting reimbursed several years later, then please make sure you save those receipts. Extremely important. You can transfer your HSA funds from one custodian to another custodian. And as long as you do that, there is no problem. But if you took that money in your hand, if you say to HSA, let's say, imagine your HSA was being held by your employer, and you say, hey, please send me this $10,000, and I'm going to now open up an account in Fidelity and put $10,000 in it. Well, you're going to run into several troubles. Number one, you are going to get hit with that 20% penalty. Number two, you're going to pay tax on that $10,000. Number three, you would not be able to put $10,000 because maximum limit for 2024 is 8,300 for family. So multiple problems. So please never take the money in your own hand. Transfer the funds custodian to custodian. Transfer from one fund to another. So very, very important. So I will leave you with this. The reason why people do HSA accounts is because it offers those triple tax advantages. Money you put into an HSA is tax free, it grows tax free, and you can withdraw it for tax free. Number two, you can change your mindset by instead of looking at HSA as a healthcare plan or a healthcare savings plan, you should start looking at it as a retirement plan. If you do that, I think you'll get even more out of your HSA. And always remember that HSA offers a lot more flexibility than any other retirement tool out there. So if you're investing into stocks, if you're investing into, uh, maybe some sort of IUL life insurance policy, or for that matter, anything else, I would strongly encourage you to look at HSA first and make sure you're maximizing it. Because if you're not, then I think you're leaving a lot of money on the table. So that's what I have. I'll be happy to take your questions, and don't worry, I will not post them online. So you're welcome to ask whatever you'd like to ask. And we will have our next discussion call next month, in the month of December. And we'll talk about some other topic that is related to either taxes or finance or real estate or something else. So, those of you guys who are going to be watching this on YouTube, I strongly encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share it with your friends and family members. Comment on the channel and let me know what kind of topics you like to hear more about. More about taxes, finance, immigration, and I'll be happy to share those either in a discussion call or in a video format in the in the next YouTube channel video. So thank you so much for spending your last 30 minutes with me, and I'll open it up for Q&A session now.